Exploring the vast landscape of 40 years worth of JRPGs is like uncovering hidden gems in a treasure trove. And there's so many heavy-hitting, iconic, timeless, classic JRPGs out there that are considered masterpieces that have shaped the genre in unique and innovative ways, and for some reason or another, I just haven't played them. So in today's video, I want to cover some games that I have actually never played or barely touched, and maybe you guys can convince me to actually get into these series because there's so many games out there that people say you should play. So as always, before we get to that, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed here already, and comment down below, let me know if there's any other JRPGs you think I should play, or let me know why I should be playing these games that I'm covering today. Let's go. First up is anything in the Persona series. Believe it or not, I haven't touched a single Persona game. I actually was introduced to Persona when I first got into the soundtrack of Persona 5, this unique blend of jazz fusion. This personally is my favorite genre of music, so being able to listen to that while I'm playing is amazing. But from what I gather, Persona is like a unique blend of traditional JRPG elements with character-driven storytelling set in a high school situation or a school setting, with students who balance their lives with supernatural stuff, summoning manifestation of inner selves, I think, as personas. And of course, you know, you battle mysterious forces and confront societal issues. I'm really interested in playing this game. I actually applied for a review code for Persona 3, the re-release that came out a couple of months ago, and I never heard back for whatever reason, so I figured, I'm just not going to play it. But this is a series that I really do want to get into. And I'll tell you a story. My wife actually bought me Persona 5 on PlayStation 4 for Christmas a couple of years ago, but then I realized it wasn't the Royal Edition, so I'm like, should I even bother playing Persona 5 if it's not the finalized, finished edition with the extra stuff or the extra content? And not only that, when I looked at some of the complete play times of Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal, for example, people would say that it goes up over 100 hours. I just don't know if I have that kind of time to commit to a massive JRPG. But on the flip side, I've just come off of playing the entire Yakuza series, which I put well over like 130 hours into all the games combined. So yeah, you could see that as one giant game. So I can't really say that Persona is going to turn me off because of playtime, but I hear so many great things about it. I'm really interested in trying out Persona. What do you think? The next series that I have little to no experience with is Dragon Quest. Like most people these days, I think the first game that people are really going to play is Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age. That was such an incredible game, and I had such a great experience with that while playing through it. And of course, if you play through it, you hit credits, and then you realize, oh my gosh, there's more after the credits. There's actually a post game, and it's really worthwhile playing because you get the true ending and the true final boss. And that was a game I spent 80 hours with, and it went by in the blink of an eye. Fast forward a couple months later, I tried to play Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS, just didn't stick. And even a couple of months ago, I tried to play Dragon Quest 5 on my analog pocket. I just couldn't get into these stories. I couldn't get into this game overall. It's just a different style of game. Maybe it's because I'm so used to playing Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is so heavily ingrained in me that I can't allow myself for some reason to just envelop myself into Dragon Quest. But that being said, I am going to give the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest 3 a shot. I'm also looking at playing a fan remake of Dragon Quest 1 on my Steam Deck if I can get that to work. That looks super interesting. So I do look forward to making a video soon called I Finally Played Dragon Quest for the first time, because I actually really want to get into the hype, but I just have to allow myself to actually get into the game and not force myself to play it. Final Fantasy XIV is another one, and this is a game that I have caught so much flack or hate for on some of my Final Fantasy tier lists for just outright not including, because, you know, if you don't play Final Fantasy XIV, you're not a real Final Fantasy fan, right? Well, I don't know. That's what some people say. But this is a huge game, and with all the expansions included, I don't even know how long it would take to play everything through. And not only that, and this is something that I've spoken on before, MMO games are just not my thing. For example, if I go to howlongtobeat.com, look up Final Fantasy XIV, single player, 99.5 hours to 3,097 hours, that is huge. But so, I mean, this is just, it's a massive game, and every expansion is going to have its own playtime as well. I just look at Final Fantasy XIV and think it's not necessarily a game. It's a lifestyle, and I just don't have that kind of time for this kind of lifestyle. And it's a game that I respect a lot of people for playing, and you know what? If you enjoy Final Fantasy XIV, more power to you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the new expansions. I hope you enjoy all the crossover stuff that's in there. It's a game that I personally don't see the appeal for because I'm not the target market for it. Another series of games that I've never played is Nier. I actually bought the original Nier for Xbox 360 years and years and years ago. And the one thing that turned me off playing it actually was the fact that a friend told me, yeah, you got to play this game like multiple times to get the true ending. And I'm thinking, I don't have the time for that. And this is coming from a younger version of me at probably 20 years old, thinking I don't have time. I wasn't working at the time. I didn't have a wife or a child. That was like the perfect time to be playing a game with multiple endings. And nowadays, I don't even know how I do stuff like that. But this was a game that seemed like such an incredible time commitment back then. And fast forward now, of course, we have Nier Automata, which seems to be one of the best received games of all time. It's another one that I see countless people recommend purely because it's got like, you know, deep philosophical themes, action-packed combat, and it's set in some sort of dystopian world where survival is in question. I mean, again, I don't know anything about these games, but from what I see, it looks really interesting. It's another series of games that has really just cropped up in the last 10 to 15 years as some of the best storytelling and some of the best gaming experiences that, you know, JRPGs as a genre has to offer. So what do you guys think? Should I go back and buy the original Nier for PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, or can I get Nier Automata for Steam and play that standalone? I would love some guidance on the Nier series, especially from people who really love and highly recommend the game. Again, it's just something that I've always wanted to get into, but let me know. Now, hang on, before we get any further, did you guys know that 92% of the people that watch my channel on the regular are not subscribed? That's a huge number, so let's please try and bring that down. If you guys like weekly JRPG, Final Fantasy content, I would love to have you here week in and week out, so don't forget to like and subscribe because it really does make a huge difference. Anyway, on to the next JRPG that I've never played. The next game that I have little to no experience with is Lost Odyssey. It's a game that I've actually purchased before, but I've just never played it. It's one of those ones that you buy and then it sits on the shelf and then you trade it in, you forget about it, and then when you're putting together a list of JRPGs you've never played, you think to yourself, oh, Lost Odyssey, that's right. So a lot of people consider this to be the true Final Fantasy XIII for some reason or another, and of course, it's going to be because Hironobu Sakaguchi is the mastermind behind it. We have Nobuo Uematsu doing some composition work here as well, so it's kind of like the X Square team from Mistwalker putting together games, and of course, there's another reason why I'm really looking forward to Fantasian Neo Dimension coming out here for consoles and Steam and stuff later in the year. But that being said, this looks like a really interesting game, and I've only seen very, very little of the combat. I don't know anything beyond looking at the box art of Lost Odyssey. And even for this video, I'm going to have to put together some gameplay and some stuff. So it'll be the first time that I've actually seen anything, but it's a game that I'm really interested in. But unfortunately, it's stuck on the Xbox 360. This is a game that I was hoping that would be ported to Steam. It just would be more convenient to play it, but I guess I'm going to have to buy a 360 or buy begrudgingly an Xbox Series S or something like that for backwards compatibility, because in my opinion, Xbox is more or less a dead console, but it would be worth buying for Lost Odyssey and a handful of other things as well. But from what I could tell, it looks super interesting. It's one of those hidden gem JRPGs in my opinion because I haven't played it. I really want to envelop myself in something different from Hironobu Sakaguchi that isn't Final Fantasy and just kind of explore his take on a different JRPG. And lastly, we have the Trails series. This is probably the most recommended series to me, and I know absolutely nothing about it. I've seen people stream it on Twitch. I've seen, videos and posts and stuff in JRPG groups on Facebook and Instagram. And I see so many people arguing on Twitter, for example, where the best place to start in the Trails series is. So if you guys have recommendations, please let me know down in the comments because I'd really be interested to know where to start and how to start as well. Are the games connected? I don't know. I just am really interested in the rich tapestry of stories that people say about this game. Turn-based combat as well is something that I know is highlighted. I don't know if it's conditional based combat or whatever else, but I love turn-based combat, of course, as you guys know. So I'm down for really engrossing myself in a turn-based JRPG series that's really well praised for the attention to detail and strategic gameplay, so I'm down for that. I'm even reading here that the Trails games offer a slow burn narrative that rewards patience. So the slow burn is one thing that kind of puts me off a little bit. Again, I'm happy to invest the time into it if it's going to be worthwhile. Is this the kind of game that if I play it, it's going to hook me in the first hour or two? I really struggle with time and motivation these days, because if something isn't catching me within maybe the first 10 hours, I really have a hard time pressing on any further. So Trails, where do I start? What games should I play? What games shouldn't I play? I really want to know. So please leave your recommendations down in the comments. So there's my list of some of the most iconic JRPGs that I have never played, never touched. At least most of these I do want to get to, so please leave recommendations down in the comments where I should start, what games I should play. I would love some advice from some more seasoned JRPG veterans, because to be honest with you, it's just, again, so much that I haven't played, but I'm very curious. So thanks again for watching today's video, and we'll see you again on the next one.